instruction in this budget repair bill?
There'll be nothing dealing with the Department of Public Instruction in particular.
And funding the Department of Public Instruction?
Well, you understand, the budget repair bill deals with our budget until June 30th. Okay? Now, many state agencies have been asked what they call lapse funds back to the state, but there are no huge changes other than changes in public employee benefits, which will affect every agency that has public employees there. There are no other huge changes. A week from tomorrow, Governor Walker is planning to introduce his budget, which is a top secret document, and I know very little about what's in it. I mean, you hear a few things here and there.
Are you kidding that it's top secret? I mean, is that...
No, it is top secret.
Oh, really?
It's genuinely top secret. It's
in our transparent government.
Well, I mean, like a bill that I would be introducing, for example, I pick a day in which I roll out that bill, and then people can see the details of it.
Like a new car.
Right, exactly. Scott Walker's been working on his budget for a long time, and he'll have a budget address a week from tomorrow, and I guess every governor since I've been here kind of likes to, right, like a new car, show his new budget when he gives the speech. He doesn't want Glenn Grothman cheating and telling people what's in the budget in advance.
Okay.
So that's why he doesn't tell me, or I let the cat out of the bag now.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm wondering if you believe that teachers and other public workers should have pensions at all.
Yeah, I like the pension plan. I'm part of the pension plan. I like it.
And what percent of the pension plan do you think teachers should contribute?
Well, I think an appropriate amount. I'm supportive of Governor Walker right now.
Can you throw out a number?
I'm not going to throw out a number. Governor Walker wants us to contribute a half, and that's fine.
Next year?
Well, I don't know. Like everything, there's a law of supply and demand. And there's a limit to the amount of money that the taxpayer can pay. And historically, and for those of you who don't work for the government, I work for the government. Once a year, I get a statement from the state of Wisconsin Department of Employee Trust Funds explaining where I stand on my pension. If I would quit today, what type of pension would I get? If I keep making what I'm making now, till I'm age 62 or 63 or whatever, what will I be making? If I retire before age 55, how much will the state give me to cash me out? And whenever I get that statement, they always break down the money that I've built up into an employee half and an employer half. And I believe those two amounts are either equal or almost identical. But I always think, until this point, I've had this job for 17 years, and I'm grateful I have such a generous pension. Thanks to all of your taxpayers, I'm very grateful.
Me too.
But, they always list half of the money as the employer half and half of the money as the employee half, which I always think is kind of funny because you, my employer, actually pay both halves. But that's the way it works, and I wish we could keep it going forever. And quite frankly, if it weren't for the budget crisis, it would have gone forever. But we have a budget crisis, and we can't afford to have it go on forever.
So my question is that percent that's contributed by state employees, is that covered under collective bargaining?
Well, as I understand it, there are places around the state where it is. Yes, there's places around the state where employees contribute part of it. Yes.
So with collective bargaining gone, it could be zero. It could be anything.
I guess it could be anything. Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, but no, I'm gonna respond to that for a second. There are many people, I take it here, who don't belong to a union, correct? Okay. And I suppose people who are members of a union can say, because of no collective bargaining, next year I'm going to be paid minimum wage to teach. Or next year there are going to be 45 kids in my class. And without collective bargaining, that's what's going to happen. And I suppose that would happen if you think the Sheboygan School District or the Sheboygan Falls School District or the Plymouth School District, whoever is represented here tonight, is run by a bunch of screwballs. But they're not run by a bunch of screwballs. Just like every other institution out there, they want to attract high-quality employees, and they want those employees to have smiles on their faces. Because smiling employees do a better job of working than frowning, miserable employees. So I think the idea that is, as soon as we cannot collectively bargain over health insurance, or the idea that we can no longer collectively bargain over pensions, that the school districts are going to turn around and say there's going to be no pension at all for the employees of the Sheboygan School District is not going to happen, because they think they have good employees and they want to the greatest degree possible keep those employees, A, keep them, and B, keep them happy. And they want to make sure the children are well educated. So I do not believe that the Sheboygan School District is going to say, yee-haw, we don't have any collective bargaining, next year there are 40 kids in your class, or yee-haw, we have no collective bargaining, everybody's going to make $20,000 a year next year. That is not going to happen. As a matter of fact, quite frankly, I recently talked to a young gal who took a job in Arizona where I believe there is either no or a virtually non-existent teachers union, and she was thrilled to be making so much more money than the teachers make in Wisconsin who are unionized. Yes, the guy here. And I'll eventually work my way back, I'm sorry.
First of all, I just want to tell you, you insulted me in so many levels. First thing, I'm a product of a Head Start education. And my parents, I'm very insulted by insinuating that they're less of people because they're great parents. The next thing I was insulted by is just how you're treating education in general. Saying that we do not collecting, sorry, because I'm bargaining rights is unreal. I had a mother that worked at Planko for many years that just let go like that. Not because of her work ethic, but for many other reasons. I have a brother right now that is going job to job, being laid off, not because of his work ethic, and not getting $10 an hour, and he's using Badger Care. And you're insulting him by saying that he cannot pay. Does he want to be doing that? No. He wants a productive job. And the way you're going to get rid of unions and you allow private companies to get away with what they're going to get, he's going to be making $10 an hour, struggling his whole life. And I just want to tell you how ridiculous a lot of the things you're saying and how insulting they are to working class families. Not just me as a teacher, but to lots of working class families. And I'd like to know, what is the private sector going to do, the higher paying companies? What are they going to do to help with this so-called budget shortfall?
Well, a couple of things. First of all, you hit on part of the problem here. The state is in a very difficult financial situation because many people are not making what they used to make. And obviously, if they're making $10 an hour, they're not paying a whole lot in income tax. And when people don't pay a whole lot of income tax, there's not a lot of money to give to the schools or anybody else. As far as what private business is going to do, there are thousands and thousands of private businesses in the state of Wisconsin. Everything is going to do different. One of the major goals we're going to have in this budget is to make Wisconsin a more favorable place to do business. Okay? Now, I don't know whether they're right or wrong, but it was well publicized that last year or 2 years ago in Forbes magazine, they did a ranking of states favorable to business. Wisconsin was 48th in that ranking. I like to believe we're a better place to do business than that because I don't know if they adequately quantified the quality of the workforce. But nevertheless, we were 48th in the country. Obviously, if you pick up a magazine like that and say Wisconsin 48th, that looks bad. And one of the goals of Scott Walker and the legislators, including myself, will be to make sure that a year from now or 2 years from now or 3 years from now, if Forbes magazine reads those rankings, we are not 48th. We can't force any private business to do this. This is a free country. But we do know in a state in which people want businesses to come, they will pay wages, they will pay more corporate income taxes, they will pay more withholding taxes. And first of all, that would be good because of more jobs for our citizens. And secondly, if you feel our schools need more money, it will be good for our schools because the reason there's going to be a reduction in school aids next year is because we don't have the money. And if more businesses are here, hiring more people, paying more wages, there will be more money for schools and parks and everything else under the sun.
And can I respond to you?
Well, I tell you,
There's so much wrong in what you said.
Well, what I'm going to do is,
well, let him respond.
I've got to, we'll let you respond once, but I can't have a back and forth 10-minute thing with everybody here. I'll be here till 3 in the morning.